Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It is our pleasure, our honor to do this event every single month. We do it right here at City Hall, typically the second Friday. We try to, but always check our schedule at stluciechamber.org. It's free, it's open to the public, and we even have it catered by At Your Service is our new sponsor, cater sponsor, who's providing donuts and Danish for our lovely studio audience. I want to start the show as we always do by introducing my friend, my colleague, my pal, the one, the only mayor of this beautiful city of Port St. Lucie, the Honorable Greg Oravec. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. You really had me in suspense there. I didn't know if you were going to get my name right, but you did.
Or know where I was going.
And I want to recognize my sister, Councilwoman Stephanie Morgan back there.
Yes.
And it's very appropriate that you should work with that hair because my hair used to be that color.
And that length for early pictures, right?
Before we served together, but then it fell out for some reason. No, I'm just teasing. Thank you very much for being here. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Well, we have a big show today. We have, of course, our partner for the entire year, which is Mid-Florida Credit Union. Exactly. That's why my coffee is in the cup. And thank you for helping us do their ribbon cutting and welcoming them to the city. I know you're always good about that. So, but it was a great event. And thank you, Mid-Florida.
That's delicious H2O. That must be City of Port St. Lucie water.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no.
I refilled this bottle.
Oh, he took it to the tap. Yes, very good.
On the planet Earth.
And we're all buying it. Anyway, Mid-Florida's here, as they always are. They're going to be with us all year, and then we're going to go right into Q&A today, you and I. So
that's the plan?
That's the plan.
All right, well, let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. We are here with our sponsor, our partner for this entire year in this endeavor. Thank you so much yet again to Mid-Florida for being that sponsor. But please welcome Lizanne Marr. She is a loan officer or whatever.
Mortgage loan officer, yes.
Okay, very good. And Mid-Florida, for those of you that don't know, are opening 2 new offices here. Mid-Florida Credit Union, and then they have an existing office on US 1 in the county, but one on Gatlin and another one.
St. Lucie West should be open about the beginning of April.
Very good. And the mayor and I came out and helped you do your ribbon cutting for the one on Gatlin, which is up and running.
Absolutely, yes. And we thank you for that. We're glad to be here.
Good. We talked a little bit last month about what makes Mid-Florida stand out, being a credit union, and who's eligible, but I'd like to reiterate that every month. Who can go use your services?
Well, you just have to live, work, or worship in one of our areas where we do business. There's many counties in Florida, 60-some counties, something like that. Yes, that's it. Work, worship, or live where we do business. So anyone really can be a member here as long as you're in St. Lucie County. You can come to one of our branches and open an account, become a member.
Yeah, and what's the fee for being a member?
$5, I believe, is savings. You open a membership savings with $5. There's no fee, actually.
Right, you just have to have a balance in there.
Right.
Okay. And so we wanted to talk a little bit this month about some things that you guys are doing, what you have going on. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Our mortgage products, we are very competitive with our mortgages. Right now, we're focusing on our construction loans. We have a very competitive construction product where you can put as little as 5% down.
Wow.
You know, more is always better because of the rate and whatnot, but 5% is the minimum. We were approved with a lot of builders here in town. I won't get into all that, but yes, so construction, and then also we're offering a 120-day rate lock right now. So if the borrower is shopping around, they come in, they get pre-qualified, and as long, we approve them, and we can lock in the rate.
It's for 120 days, which is a long time, because by the time you find a home, and because most people want you to be pre-qualified when you're shopping, and then by the time you find one and can close on it, the rate may change. But you're saying, we'll give you 120 days.
Exactly. And then if you get close, maybe you're at, day 110 or so, we can always extend that until closing. So you come in and it's right before your rate lock expires, you have a contract, we can extend it until closing, until we have, to match the contract that you bring into us.
Okay. And so if they want to get pre-qualified, I know that the general public is trained to go online.
And they can.
Okay,
they can
good.
Go online, absolutely. If you do go online, we ask that you select my name, of course, because I'm in your area. So I would get the application and work on it. But if you don't, it'll still probably come to me because I cover
This area.
exactly in
They
Indiana.
assign it to you.
But they can also come in. They can call to make an appointment. I can take the application face to face or on the phone. We make it easy. Whatever's
Okay.
easier for the borrower member.
Good. And I do want to stress that, pick the representative in your area so that you make sure they understand the local market.
Exactly.
And they've already worked with probably builders if you're doing a new build.
Right.
So yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we're working with our local people.
Exactly.
Great. And what's the website?
Midflorida.com.
Easy enough, easy enough. And if they need to call you to ask you a few more questions about, what's the rate range, what's prime, all that kind of stuff, you want to talk to them in person on that, how do they get a hold of you?
My cell phone, 772-321-9019.
9019, 321-9019.
Yes. And it's on the website too. If you
Okay.
go into the mortgage area or mortgage apply now, you'll see all the originators and their phone numbers and website and that kind of thing.
Great.
Email.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for being such a good supporter of the Chamber of Commerce and our Young Floridian program in the past you've been a part of, which is we're having our ceremony later on this week.
Great.
And so we're excited about that. And then also our Business and Industry Awards in September.
Look forward to those.
Yes, we're so happy to have you as a partner. So you're really coming into our community and embracing the idea of community support, and we really appreciate it. It has not gone unnoticed. So thank you
We're
for
glad
that,
to be
Lisa.
here. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll be right back, everybody, with our mayor, of course.
What do you mean you can't see?
Welcome
I was
back.
talking to you. That's hearing. I don't know what.
Welcome back to Coffee of the Port St. Lucie Mayor. You're right, but on me, when I lose one sense, I just lose them all. You know how other people,
One
their
goes
other
down,
senses,
all five go down.
five go down. It's a whole computer crash. So he was talking to me, but because I can't see, I couldn't hear him either.
System failure.
Yes. Welcome back. I'm here, of course, with the mayor of this beautiful city, the Honorable Gregory Orbeck.
Still right? Good?
Yes, still got the right city, the right show, the right day,
Yeah,
the right
awesome.
location. I'm in good shape today. What do we got going on?
Well, I like to bring down our Assistant Chief, Bill Vega. Come on down.
Come on down, Bill. You know what's so funny is I feel like there's a standard issue hairdo for all officials in the city of Port St. Lucie. So when he walked by me, he said hello this morning, and because I couldn't see, I swore you were, I thought it was Rich Del Toro, didn't I? I was like, oh, there's Rich.
No.
Sorry, Bill.
Assistant Chief Vega is a whole foot taller
He
than.
is taller, but he did go by. You're right. He's at least a foot taller, isn't he?
But we do try to figure out how many distinguished bald-headed guys we can get.
I know. I feel like you're taking over.
We're part of the club.
Yes, they're pod people that are just, all the same person, just over and over again.
So I appreciate the Assistant Chief being here for a number of reasons, but today we started a new program in the city, and I texted Trissa late last night, as I often do as we discuss important issues of the day. No, we don't. But I did let you know that the police department has started in partnership with Starbucks, a coffee with the cop.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it is very good. And their first one, though, was this third Friday of the month when we have coffee with the chamber and the mayor. So Bill, he's the ultimate team player, former collegiate quarterback.
Oh, for who?
CW Post, Long Island University.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so ultimate team player, wanted to make sure that he was there. In the future, of course, will be there. So just want to let everyone know about that program, because it's great that our men and women in blue meet with the people. We have such a great relationship in Port St. Lucie. I think we're the contributing factors to us being the what large city in Florida?
8th.
No. When we think about that's true, but think about it in the context.
Oh,
Safest.
There you go.
Not safest, right? Safest large city in Florida. And obviously that's driven by our award-winning police department. And how do we do with our crime rate last year, Assistant Chief?
We're down another, I believe, approximately 16%, so almost 80% over the last 7 years.
Wow. So as we could talk about with Mid-Florida Credit is, rates are one thing because over time our population's increasing, right? So the rate, at the end of the day, even though our rate's going down, the total number could still be going up because our population is going up. Ross would know that too because he's a numbers guy. But last year, our actual number of crimes went down to like 2002 levels. So not only did our rate go down, but the absolute number of incidents went down to 2002 levels. So that was something I think we could be really proud of. And of course, we're so proud of you, Bill, and our whole team. And we hope that you'll take that back to the.
Definitely.
How many men and women do we have working over there now?
235, and the chief, obviously, like the mayor said, the chief and the other assistant chief, Rich Del Toro, is at Starbucks right now. So they would love to be here.
Don't leave until the show's done, though, please. I see Lynette. Lynette is doing something right now.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
She's like ordering. She's got the to-go out. She's ordering hers right now.
They're still there. Actually, Rich Del Toro is serving at the drive-thru. So if you want to go there, he's been serving at the drive-thru.
Now we're all got to leave.
Yes.
I don't even drink coffee.
A half tea calf latte. Yeah,
Do they serve Mid-Florida Credit Union water there?
They do not.
Well, what else do you have to say to the?
And you've been, how long have you been on the force, Bill? You've been around for a
let's
long
ask
time.
the
23
question at
years.
the same time.
Yeah, 23 years.
23 years, 7 years.
Did you have hair back in the beginning?
Oh,
Yes, I did. 23 years old, I did have some hair. There's a before and after that I won't show until I retire, that's for sure. But I think Chief Del Toro had hair, and then Chief Bulldog had hair, so.
Oh, it's the job. So you're not pod
it's
people,
age
it's
and
the
a
job.
It's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
you know.
Let's have Teresa work here for a couple months and see what happens.
Well, I can tell you that this is not my natural hair color. So yeah, age has hit me too.
Never
It
thought about
happens.
it.
Yeah.
No, it's a great place to work. It really is. I raised a family here. It's a great place to raise a family. And we talk about it when I come to your meetings.
Yeah.
I'm usually the third string. I'm the guy behind the scenes. So after the chief and Rich, I usually step up to the plate, and I'm always making fun of Rich because he's the Facebook chief.
I'm just
He's
going to
always
say
out there.
that
Yes,
kid is Mr.
selfie king.
Facebook.
Yes.
Take a selfie. Let's go on Instagram.
Yep.
Let's do Snapchat.
I love him to death. I'm glad he
think-
gets to do that stuff, so I can stay in the background and do the other.
Doing the work.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Do your job.
Because he's like Kardashian status, Rich
You
is.
said
with
that, I did not.
Yes,
Right.
I
But we're all
did.
gonna run
I'll
with
say it to his face
sounds
because he
good.
knows it's
I'm
true.
gonna use that today.
Okay.
Kardashian.
But what you were referring to is our once a month at our Business Bowl and Breakfast,
Yes.
we honor the Police Officer of the Month. So we have them out and we get them in front of about 100 of our members and we give them a plaque and a gift card and we just really honor their service. So
You're a
we
great
love
partner.
doing that. Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. But we started that a couple years ago. And I had to talk him into it because the chief was very.
He's low-key.
He's
He's a humble guy.
low-key.
He's a
He's a
humble
very low-key.
He
And
fits this city perfectly. I mean, he's a humble guy. You know, he's a servant, and I think that he likes to be that. You know, that's him. You know, you could only be who you are.
Yeah.
And I think when he took over 7 years ago, he started a lot of projects that weren't ever done here, and he wanted to get it back out in the community, and that was a big thing from the mayor. He wanted us back out in the community, and to be honest with you, we couldn't have done a lot of that without the staff, the mayor, council, and really the other city staff, because we work well now together.
Yeah.
For a long time, I think that might have been an issue, but our big thing was we have to have partnerships outside, but also internally. It's a big deal, because we work with HR and legal.
You're
If you
not
don't
the
have
enemy,
those-
you're one
Yes.
team.
So we brought that together, you know, with the help of the staff, and I think it's kind of moved along pretty well.
Absolutely.
It's
Are you happy? That's all I care about. If you're happy, we're happy.
That's a terrible question because I'm never happy.
I just have you ever been happy? No.
I'm really.
He's a
truly,
happy
I'm
person,
I
yeah.
am. I'm happy. I'm optimistic at heart. But one of the things that's tough for me, especially in the role of mayor, is that I tend to focus on the continuous improvement side.
What needs done?
Yes, and I'm not good at celebrating the successes.
No.
Because to me they're fleeting, and you only have so much time on planet Earth, and so it's on to the next. But in this role, man, we're really getting deep today. I've understood the importance of or maybe I need a couch, but the importance of celebrating the moments and the victories, because life can be tough, and you have to kind of fill the tank when you do win the championship or you have the great success, so you can get through the low periods. But with our police department, you know, they have the championship belt, I like to say, because their output, what they do, is measurable. So, you know, in government, we're here with the chamber, as a lot of your businesses measure success and profit. City doesn't have that ability. We can't just measure things in profit. So our outcomes are more difficult, but when it comes to PD, they can look to crime rate. I mean, that is a really good indicator of how they're doing, and they're the best in the business at it, and obviously we couldn't be prouder. And of course, we gotta, and before when I said, do your job, that's actually, that's a mantra over there at the police department. They, no matter how you feel about the Patriots, you gotta recognize the leadership and the greatness of the organization over time. And so they've adopted Belichick's, you know, do your job mantra.
Yeah.
You know, if you do your job, everything is gonna work out. And they've done it, and we're gonna continue doing it, and we're gonna get better and better. But a big reason why they can be so successful is the relationship between the police department and the people of Port St. Lucie. And that's why a little event like Coffee with the Cop is such a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And you know what? The public really does appreciate it when you do those things. I know our members appreciate that we have somebody come out and we're able to honor them. I know we're honoring them, but we feel good about doing it. So it's really a two-way street. We like to see it, and we like to be a part of it.
Works well with us.
Yeah, and building that bond, you know, we talked about how celebrating victories can get you through tough times to the next victory. Well, things don't always go right. And when you're dealing with life and you're dealing with split-second decisions like the police department has to, everything doesn't always go right. Sometimes things can go wrong. And you have to have that relationship of trust and togetherness established before something goes wrong to be able to get through it. You can't have something go wrong and then think you're going to have trust and fix it. You have to, just like any other relationship.
Yes, you're right.
Anything else for the good people of Port St. Lucie?
Yeah, fine.
All right.
Great.
When's
Thanks
your
for being
turn at
here.
coffee?
Thanks for calling me up.
Yeah. I was a little sarcasm, everybody, but.
Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson here with the mayor, of course, because it is Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor, the one, the only, Gregory Oroville.
Thank you.
I even got your full name right.
You did.
I know.
You get to
Welcome back.
J if you really want to get.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. There is
Take
a
it to the
J.
next level. Boom.
Next
Gregory
month.
James.
I'll work up to it.
All right. Well, thank you. And we're so glad that Mid-Florida Credit could be here. They have a beautiful two-story building on St. Lucie West Boulevard under construction.
Yes, and I'm left-handed now. And,
Oh, I didn't
spilled a little.
realize that they were. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
That's why I got to go
it's very
two-handed.
difficult. I know. But we got it.
And of course, we had our assistant chief, Bill
Vega. Yep.
Glad to have him.
Talking about your new program, Coffee with the Cop.
That's correct. But we're so glad that you're here. I want to go to any questions that you may have. And right before we do, I just want to recognize the team from Oculus is here. If you saw some of the news last week, maybe in the paper or the TV news, you know that we had an expansion ceremony for Oculus, which is a precision ophthalmic device. I used to like to say ophthalmologic, but it's ophthalmic device manufacturer. And they go all the way back to 1895.
Wow.
But several years ago, they set up shop in St. Lucie West, and they've continued to prosper and flourish, and they're expanding. And they're going to be part of our Tradition Center for Commerce, AKA Tradition, AKA Southern Grove, AKA
Jobs Corridor.
Jobs Corridor. And they're right across the road, Tom Mackey Boulevard, from City Electric.
Yep.
So City Electric, if you see the steel out there, they're already going vertical. That's 400,000 square foot manufacturing and distribution facility. I think the single largest building in the city of Port St. Lucie proper. And then right across from that, you're going to have the 50,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing center where Oculus will be. And we're so glad that they're growing here in Port St. Lucie and decided to stay of course, stay home versus going to Seattle or Texas.
Yeah, we always want to retain our businesses. It's very
We do.
important.
So thank you for being here. Glad to have you.
Good. Does anybody have a question, though, for the mayor or for the chamber, for the good of the order?
We could prime the pump here.
right.
Let me ask them a question.
I'm not sure that's how it works.
What is this object right here? What would you say this object is? It's concrete. Well, how do you know that? Because the video went up before I asked you the question?
Obviously, Arlo peaked when we said not to.
Well, you've known her for a long time. If you
She's
tell
a
her.
peaker.
So, geez, I would throw this down and discuss, but then I would be breaking a historical artifact. So I can't do that. This is concrete. I've had some people say that it's dinosaur vomit.
Or
Kind of, if you get close, you're kind of like, wow, is that frosted mini wheats that have been encased in volcanic ash? But no, it's not.
it looks like scat.
You don't play the brainstorming game at Mid-Florida Credit, or? But it is concrete, and we just want to show you a little clip if the technology will cooperate. Hey PSL, it's your Mayor Greg Orvac, and it is Friday night. It's about 10:30 here on Friday, February the 8th, and a lot of people are celebrating the beginning of the weekend, but I thought we'd come out here and celebrate a little history in the making. Tonight, February the 8th, and into the wee hours, and really all the way to 6:30 on Saturday morning, we're going to be pouring the final deck on the Crosstown Bridge. And what that means is it's going to be a complete real bridge here in the next few hours, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable. Contractor's been doing a bang-up job, knock on wood. It's just amazing. Remember, if you ever want to check out the aerial view or see exactly where the concrete was getting poured tonight, if you want to find out anything about your Crosstown Bridge project, please visit crosstownextension.com. And remember, PSL, you made this bridge happen. When we work hard, smart, and together, we can make anything happen.
That was nice. And it has spurred our first question. Are you ready? Mark, up front.
Prime the pump.
Yep, right up front. This lady over here. If you'll raise your hand so he can, there you go.
Hi, we're really excited about the Crosstown Parkway extension. Is it on schedule, and when will it be open?
So, thank you for your question. No, it's not on schedule. It's ahead of schedule.
Yes.
Boom!
Yes.
So, it took a long time to get to the bridge. I mean, it's truly 39 years in the making. We've run this multi-generational relay race. But the actual bridge part, once we got through the lawsuits and actually started the bridge, it's been ahead of schedule. It's under budget. It's exactly what you want for a major project like this. The stars have aligned. We have an exceptional contractor, again, knock on wood, no jinxes, that could make more money somewhere else. So they're committed to doing the job. But when they bid this job, the market was different. And because the markets continue to go up and construction prices continue to go up, this project is in the way of them making more money somewhere else. So they are committed to getting done as quickly as possible. You know, they don't want to mess around with little change orders and things like that. They just want to get it done. And so the official timeline is it's going to be done before Thanksgiving, but my bet is it'll be done late summer. Yeah. So
Exciting, isn't
it
it?
is very exciting. And it won't come a second too soon, because if you're out there on the streets of Port St. Lucie, if you're doing business in banks or real estate or investment, you know that we're growing by leaps and bounds. Mm-hmm. Our last estimate from the U.S. Census was 189,000, but they're always, that says July 1st of the year, so our last estimate was from 18, and they're really looking back in time a year. So it's really behind, I think, for a thriving city like Port St. Lucie. And I would bet you $1 or whatever you put in your husband's Valentine's card that we're over 200,000 now. And so it's going to take a lot of pressure off of Prima Vista / St. Lucie West Boulevard and PSL Boulevard for through trips. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be kind of a magic bullet for St. Lucie West Boulevard, because St. Lucie West Boulevard is a destination. It has all really the greatest share of our shopping, dining, and entertainment.
Yeah, commerce is out there.
So people are still going to want to go to Mission Barbecue and BurgerFi and all the places out there. But thank you for the question about Crosstown.
We got another question. So Wayne, just 1 second. Mark's going to bring over the microphone while you do that.
I asked the question, I need to take a walk.
Here he comes.
Quick question on Crosstown. Are you going to allow any commercial, like stores or shops?
No, thank you for the question about Crosstown, because you're bringing out a really critical feature. Crosstown is meant to be a limited access highway. Its job is to get you from point A to point B. So there will not be retail and commercial along it. The access points you see now are the access points that you'll have. And as you know, there are berms that run the link for sound control and to buffer the adjacent residential areas from the 6-lane Crosstown. So no, that's meant to be limited
No commerce.
access.
They don't want you to stop. That's a mover. Keep it moving.
Correct. Not until you get to the other side of 95, and then you hit the beautiful Verano Publix out there.
There you go. That's it. Well, Mark's going to make his way to the
deep
very
corner.
back. I do want to mention that the census takers are back in town because it is that time again. So
2020.
Yep. Be aware of that. Take their calls. We want to get an accurate reading of what's going on in the city. But you're taking bets on over 200,000 in the city proper?
I think we're over 200 right now. Boom.
I'm going to say 198. We'll see. We'll see. In about 2 years, we'll settle that bet.
Start counting.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi. I live out in Tradition, so I am impacted by the Crosstown Parkway. I'm wondering, though, is that strange intersection at Floresta still in the works, or have you gone to a more conventional plan?
Now, it's known as the Super Street. I call it the not-so-super street. That intersection is still in place, and if you've been following it, or if you haven't, at Floresta Boulevard in Crosstown, rather than doing a traditional at-grade signalized intersection all 4 directions, the designers and our engineers came up with the Super Street. And what it is it's really a giant oval about. It's not truly a circle, but it has turn lanes that turn it into and make it function as an oval about. So what this means is if you're on Floresta, you can't go through north-south. If you're on Floresta trying to go north or south, you actually have to make a turn onto Crosstown, and then 800 feet up, there'll be a U-turn, a signalized U-turn, which you can come back the other way. And what that does is that, again, to that point that Wayne was kind of getting at, is because it's a limited access road and its job is to get people east-west, that puts the stress on the east-west movement. It favors the east-west movement. So that intersection it gives preference to the east-west movement. That's what it's going to do. I have done a lot of research on Super Street configurations because I'm not necessarily a big fan. And I brought it up for council discussion, but the council has stuck with it. So we'll see what happens. In some communities, it has proven to be safer and to be more efficient. And even though I'm not a huge fan, I know exactly why that is. In traffic intersections, the deadly movement is really the left-hand turn. Mm-hmm. The left-hand turn is where all the bad stuff, the really bad stuff happens. Right-hand turns, they're usually brushes, they're side swipes. Left-hand turns, T-bones, fatal, danger, 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 danger. This takes that away. And so it is safer, and you can get more cars through it. There have been a couple of communities, at least one in Texas that I can think of right now, that they experimented with it, decided they didn't like it, and tore it out. So we'll see what happens. It's still there. We're going to be a living laboratory, and we'll all have our 2 cents on whether it's good or bad or indifferent.
I have to say I'm curious. I mean, because I don't have experience with it, but I am curious to see how it works. So it's not indefinite. I mean, Texas took it out, but I want to see how it works, and if it does prove to be safer and keeps traffic moving, because I think that is very, very important.
On the same,
Your old friend Lynette has a question.
She's not old. Don't call her.
we're the same age actually, so.
You're middle-aged. No. We're friends too. We're friends too.
No, and she just did have a birthday. Everyone say happy birthday.
Oh, you did?
So did you.
You guys are the same age?
Yes, we are.
I think you're younger than me.
I think she did. We digress.
No comment. On to the question. With that same subject, with that super street, Floresta is a major thoroughfare within the city going north-south. I travel it every day. What is the anticipated or expected travel time from PSL Boulevard to Prima Vista? Is it going to decrease the travel time, increase the travel time, or we don't have those statistics just yet?
12 minutes and 17 seconds.
He's making that up.
Yeah, I'm totally making that up. Don't have it off the top of my head. We could get that for you from engineering. It has been modeled. Brad, you know the answer?
No, but I have a question.
Brad
Well,
has a
we're in the middle of a question.
But Mark's going to make his way over there, so by the time we're done with this one, he'll
okay.
be there.
All right, I was like,
good.
wow.
No, that's good.
Where's my gavel?
Yeah. No. It's good that he's
Oh, it's
raising his
good.
hand.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
We'll find out, but really the silver lining of the super street to the neighborhood of Floresta, which is a single-family neighborhood where you have houses right on Floresta Drive, as you know, is that it's going to be more residential in character. If you're making a through trip, we'd rather you travel, Arosa, which is 4-lane divided. I think you're still going to be able to make the trip. I think it's only 30 seconds to like a 2-minute difference as a result of that intersection, depending on how you hit it. So more? I don't think.
I'm saying up.
Up.
Well, I mean, roughly the same.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, because it depends on the time of day, with the volume. But then don't forget that Floresta Drive is also undergoing a major reconstruction as part of the half-cent sales tax program. So you're going to see, you might avoid Floresta because of the construction, quite frankly. But it's a 3-phase project. It's going to have a median, street trees, sidewalks, bike lanes. It's going to be beautiful. And you can check that on our webpage. Do we have a Floresta Drive landing page? We do. So just go to cityofpsl.com, type in Floresta Drive, and you can check out the plans if you haven't done that
And when
already.
it's finished, I'll race you. Okay. I'll take Arosa, you take Floresta. We'll see who gets there first.
And we'll let the assistant chief know so we can greet you.
All right, Brad changed his mind, I guess.
No, I have a question.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
He
had all that build-up.
Well, now he just took it away from that part. Okay.
I know.
It's anarchy in here.
Was that the chamber chairman?
Brad is our chamber chairperson.
Oh, chairperson?
Yes.
He's not a man?
Corrected on that enough to know it's chairperson, so. So I'm a little bit like the mayor in that I have a hard time enjoying the successes that we're in now. So when it comes to the Crosstown, I think I've been looking forward to that, and now that it's happening, I'm already looking for that next big thing. So from your perspective.
It's not even done yet, Brad.
I know.
Jeez.
I know.
Even I can wait till
You
it's
are
done.
cut from the, it's that bald-headed,
So what is that next big thing as a resident that I can look forward to, whether it be roadway projects or anything else? What is that next thing as a resident? What is the mayor and what are the city council? What are they going to be looking for after Crosstown's done?
Well, I'd say, I'd first ask the question, well, what are you into? So I can match you up with the thing that might be most exciting to you. I mean, Crosstown itself, I think the next natural question is, should it go to the island or not? So as part of our citizen survey, we're actually including that question. And for people like John that have been here a long time, you know that was once an effort. There was a Walton Road Steering Committee, and there was a concerted effort to bring the bridge out to the island. Mm-hmm. I get that question a lot. Greg, why don't we have beach access? Shouldn't Port St. Lucie have a connection to the beach?
Yeah, we're a coastal community without access to the coast.
I think that's a major monumental question that would have a huge positive impact, not only for safety for the people on the island, but also the economic development and the residential redevelopment of the US 1 corridor, which is our community redevelopment area. If you thought about what would happen to those neighborhoods, and Brad, because you represent clients in that area, if all those little starter homes all of a sudden could ride their bike to the beach, I mean, it totally changes the character of the neighborhood and puts positive market force onto that neighborhood to redevelop and really lift up the US 1 corridor. Because as a city, if we're thinking long term, we don't want the center of gravity to move all the way out to tradition at the expense of the traditional city. You want the whole city to thrive, and the old adage that you're only strong as your weakest link is true.
Is this going to be a cause of yours, do you think? Do you think you're going to?
Well, it's, just like, I hope it wouldn't take 39. I hope it wouldn't take 39 years. Well, the emails, quite frankly, already have
positive?
begun. And look, this is going to boil down to, I think of it as a teeter-totter. When the political will of the 8th most populous city exceeds the political opposition of condo owners and environmentalists who might be opposed, then it'll get done. That's my big picture thought. But it took 39 years for the crosstown we have to go from an idea to realization. So the community has to start on things like this now. It's not all about 1 year, 1 term, 2 terms.
Yeah.
And some of these projects are generational and they take more time. And Brad, that's why our strategic plan is so important. And I always try to bring people back to our strategic plan. And that's really what has this council and our team and our citizen-driven, focused on the future. Because maybe the career tech school, and that's going to be in the jobs corridor, maybe that's going to be one of the biggest transformative things, where we're working with the charter school operator to have a career tech academy right where Oculus is open, right where City Electric is open, right where Cleveland Clinic is, and where all those jobs are going to be created. Maybe that's going to be the transformational thing. Maybe one of the biggest things for all of us is going to be Riverwalk finally materializing, that the city that's named Port St. Lucie finally has a waterfront experience. So again, John, he pointed out that last night we had a concert on the water. So where our botanical gardens is, we have what's called the Westmoreland property. We've relocated 2 historic structures. Later this year, we're going to build the first phase of the boardwalk that connects Bridge Plaza and the bridge to the Westmoreland property. Then we'll immediately start phase 2 that'll connect to the existing boardwalk. We're in negotiations with a waterfront restaurant. There's going to be boat dockage. There'll be a dock where the bands can play and play up to the uplands. We're in the process of hiring a world-class placemaker to create a destination themed park. Not a theme park, but a themed playground at Riverwalk. So maybe that's going to be the biggest thing. The continuous economic development of the jobs corridor is going to transform the economy of Port St. Lucie and St. Lucie County and the Treasure Coast, and going to contribute to the economy of Florida. Maybe that's going to be the biggest thing. You can't overlook the basics. Thanks to you, we're doing a half-cent sales tax program that's going to invest over $88 million of infrastructure citywide. We're going to repave roads on the preferred, the best practice schedule. Every road, every major road is going to have a sidewalk. How long has that been a monkey on our back in Port St. Lucie? Every intersection on St. Lucie West Boulevard is going to be improved. So that's $88 million at least investment in the city, which, by the way, the Crosstown Bridge the bridge itself costs $89 million. So there's an equal investment across the city as part of this 10-year program. So at the end of the day, I really worry about the fundamentals. And so I like that we're the safest large city. I like that Cleveland Clinic is now one of our local hospitals. I like that the roads are going to have fresh blacktop, that there's going to be sidewalks, that the roads are going to be improved and beautiful, that we're doing public art. All these things building on each other, that we're creating jobs. I mean, and so it's a strategic plan. I get, it's hard for me.
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm
You're
so in the weeds.
asking him to pick one. It's like Sophie's Choice up here. We do have another question, so I'm going
to take us back to Crosstown. Underneath Crosstown, or I'm not sure if that's the North
the park.
there was a park there. Is that going to be completed at the same time with the kayak launches? And
I think there's going to be a delay. I think that, so thank you, there is a beautiful park right where it meets the edge of the river. There's going to be a plaza. There's going to be a paver field, looks like a snook. There's going to be some monuments, probably some educational kiosks. And to complete that project, we have to do a change order to the contract, and it'll probably be lagging the bridge. And because it's a different contractor, we don't want it to stand in the way of the actual bridge completion. So I think there's going to be a few months, let's call it a 3-month lag.
We have a couple questions lined up, so we'll.
One quick one. Mayor, on the light side, since we saw the video of the final pour of the Crosstown Bridge, did you happen to put your footprints into that concrete?
Oh, did you man's Chinese theater that thing?
No, and I just grabbed a handful, and then I found a flat piece of plastic and put it in my trunk, and that's why it kind of dried.
It's bridge failure.
No, this was extra, just for the record, and for any political enemies that are going to turn me into the Ethics Commission. Please know that it was an extra pile that had been scraped off by cement. And I grabbed it with my gloved hand and set it down. But Norm, why I couldn't, because I very much did want to etch my initials, G, what's my middle initial?
J.
J-O, in a very inconspicuous location. The reason why I did not is because what they do on your Crosstown Bridge is they pour the concrete, they have that scree, right, which is a mechanical device that basically replaces us in our boots, you know, with our squeegees and leveling the concrete. But after that, to make it really exceptional rideability, they grind it. They grind it within a tolerance. And then after they grind it within a really Oculus level tolerance, they etch it so that you don't go, because we don't want it too slick, so you go careening off the bridge, we have to pull you out. That would not be good. So can't do it. If I would have put my initials in, they would have just been ground right off.
Yep. And you'd have felt it going.
That's why I put I Heart Teresa on there.
Jeff has a question.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Just kind of adding to Brad's question, your eyes got really big, and I was kind of hoping you were going to say you just hung up the phone with Amazon.
I had, yesterday I put Coffee with the Mayor on Facebook and asked people for, what they wanted me to hit in this session, and that came up. And what at least they've represented publicly is that they are not going to be reopening the search for HQ2.
Correct.
We had a question back there.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. The Crosstown Parkway, we know what's going on with the Southern Grove in that area there. On the opposite side, on the US 1, right around the Civic Center, do you have any updates or any information on what's transpiring with that land around there?
Around City Center itself? So, and I just always like to repeat this in case someone's catching it for the first time. We own the Civic Center, but the 40 or so acres around the Civic Center and the parking garage and the plaza, we do not own. That's privately owned, and the lady that used to own it allegedly committed fraud and perpetuated a fraud. And so there is a court-appointed receiver that's been entrusted to liquidate her assets and make the investors whole, because it wasn't here. This is just one of her assets. And this is one of the last ones to be liquidated. So we are at the mercy of a court-appointed receiver who doesn't have perhaps the same level of investment and then the corresponding urgency in making something happen, even though if he's watching this, he's been good faith actor. He's been constructive and positive, and we appreciate his posture. We just wish we could get something done a little faster. So he has the property. He went through a process, has it under contract with a prospective purchaser. They had a 6-month inspection period. We came to the end of that inspection period, and he wants to extend the inspection period. So we're not there yet. You're a real estate expert. You know this process. So we have to see if he makes it through the inspection period and closes. He has yet to come to the city council with his plans. Now, as it turns out, I had a really positive meeting a week and a half ago with one of your last sponsor, and they want to do a 3-story building, medical office building at City Center. and which we think, at least I think, is great. So not every single parcel is under the receiver's control. One of the out parcels.
Yeah, it's an out parcel. It's privately owned. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we may see, wouldn't that be, I'm just so looking forward to it.
I am too.
This is one of those little things where, you know, when Brad's asking about what's the next big thing, sometimes little things are big things.
That might be one of Brad's projects eventually, because they did call me early on when they said they were interested in that piece of property. But it is the only privately owned piece, out parcel, left out.
No, one of Brad's competitors was in the meeting.
Oh.
But be that as it may.
Very good.
Three-story medical office building, maybe the first to go vertical at City Center, and we could see that in the next 18 months. Yeah,
good.
Which is exciting.
We have another question. Do you have a comment about the Mets' threat to leave St. Lucie West?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for bringing it up. I had a lady call my assistant, Brandon Dolan, to thank me for making the Mets leave. And this is a good opportunity to remind everyone that the stadium is county-owned and operated, and that the agreement that has the Mets in the stadium is between, of course, the county and the Mets. So your city's not even party to that. So we're if this were football, we'd say we're on the sidelines. I guess we're either in the dugout or in the stadium. So we don't drive this one. The county, as you may also know, uses tourist development tax to fund the operation and the renovation of the county. So on this one, we're just on the outside looking in. We hope that the parties can come together. So what's happened is, remember how we were talking about construction costs and everything before? This is the opposite. So the county and the Mets back in 2016 had come to terms on a renovation of the stadium and an extension of the lease for 25 years, keep the Mets here for 25 years. Unfortunately, we're in an up economy where construction prices are going up, and the county only has a set budget. So when construction costs go up and your budget does not, that means you have to change the scope. You have to take things out. And I don't know, if you're a husband, you definitely don't want to tell your wife you can't do granite countertops and, you know, you can't do stainless steel appliances. And see, I got some knowing looks out there in the audience. They're talking about it right. I didn't mean to bring anything bad up between you. But this is exactly what happens. You see this? They're a loving couple. They actually have a legal covenant between them. Imagine what happens between the Mets and, you know, and the county. But as it turns out, they do have a contract. And so it would be terrible for them to break up, because then they would have to go through a divorce, and a divorce, only the attorneys are going to win. So we're rooting for them to hopefully, after they vent, to come back together and work together to complete the renovation plan and keep the Mets here. And in these situations, as the mayor, I can just make some calls and try to take the temperature of the room and ask if they can use any help and support, but we're not playing a direct role in that. And what are your thoughts? Have you ever thought about what it means for our community to have the Mets?
I think about it all the time.
And what have you come up with?
That was the majority of my phone calls yesterday, just so you know. I think, one, people underestimate the stimulus that the Mets provides for our community, and we talk about retail market research all the time and how we get these chains here, how are we ever going to get our Cheesecake Factory. Well, I'll let you know that Mets income, even though it's for a finite amount of time, plays in the overall profitability of those restaurants. And we just put a whole bunch of them up out there in St. Lucie West, and I think that without the Mets and that assured income for that 6 weeks, because as a chain, if you lose a little money in the summer, you're okay if overall you've brought in money. So the economic stimulus from the Mets is just so large for our community. It's so important, especially for small businesses out there. In addition, the Mets came in and they are a community partner. They're very good to us at the Chamber. I won't lie. You know, they're great partners for us, but not just me, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, all those places. And when I hear people talk about using that venue for this, that, or the other, these are scattered scatterlot endeavors, realistically, and those people are not going to invest in your community like the Mets have. So I think it would be just horrifying to see them leave, and I have to say that for many, many reasons. But I also believe that they will come to an agreement, and hopefully it will move on as scheduled, because they're supposed to start on renovations at the end of spring training, which is just about a month and a half away. I'm confident. I think that there's a lot of posturing, perhaps, and hopefully everybody will get on board with doing the right thing. And I see both sides, for sure. But in the end, we, the citizens, have to make sure that our voices are heard, and we let them know on both sides that we want them to stay here, because we do. So that's my opinion. That's our standpoint.
Well, I appreciate it. And so that's one side of the argument. The other that I think some of the county commissioners are sensitive to, at least in the comments that were represented, is that it's acceptable and it's understandable that you invest tourism development tax dollars into a facility that generates tourism, but they seem really opposed and skeptical to throwing in general fund dollars,
Operating funds.
property tax dollars, because at the end of the day, this idea, and this is a conversation that's going on across America, whether you're talking about Amazon or you're talking about professional sports teams, the idea that the taxpayers are subsidizing billionaires and billion-dollar industries, that's really hard for people to stomach.
Yeah, and I agree with you on there. And I don't think the Mets are asking for operational funds, and I agree that the commission should not allow them. We have bed tax for this specific reason, so I agree with you there. We can't steal from the operating.
And it's easy for us to be on in the peanut gallery, kind of giving our 2 cents. But just looking at it big picture, zooming all the way out, they were really excited about doing a project for going on 3 years now, and it hasn't really started in a meaningful way. That gets everybody frustrated. And I just go back to the example of building a home. You're so excited about building your house or doing this major renovation. You're going to get the new kitchen. You're going to get the swimming pool of your dreams. And 3 years later, it hasn't started, and you're still arguing about the budget and the design. I mean, definitely that has ended some marriages. So hopefully that's not going to be the case here. We're rooting for them.
It's not. They're going to work it out. Don't jinx anybody. It's going to be fun.
This is another deep question.
They're coming. They're firing at all cylinders today. All right. We had another question? Arlo.
I'm more of a comment. I'm old enough to remember when people actually stopped for stop signs before it got routine to go.
They're not optional?
I know. But now I'm starting to see people actually take left turns on red arrows. And I'm like, shocked. It's really amazing that people actually do this.
Well, we need Bill for that one. Bill Vega to enforce.
It's against the law, but it's in our city here. I'm seeing, not just one time. I just saw it the other day, and it's like, seriously, on US 1, you're doing this.
So Arlo said it was a comment, not a question. Thank you for your comment, man.
You're right. It is a statement. Stop doing that.
Now, so traffic, as we continue to grow, as I bet we're at 200 and you say 198, and you've begun the count, it's going to be a continuous issue. Traffic is never going to go away. So the only thing we can do is make it the best it can be for our city. And as part of that, we need to increase traffic enforcement. But it's not magic, right? At the end of the day, those people are your friends, your neighbors, your guests, and other people that do business in Port St. Lucie. And it starts with personal responsibility. So we'll continue to be there and to increase our level of effort to try to educate, and then when necessary enforce, to protect public health and safety. But I can't promise you that we're going to solve left turn, red light.
Bad actors.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very good, though. I think we've exhausted.
Okay.
Jinx.
Oh.
And we probably should let them get to work. I want to thank, of course, the mayor of this beautiful city for co-hosting with me today, and At Your Service Catering for providing the coffee and Danish, and everybody here. Your staff is always so wonderful, and Marisol, our official photographer, and always the best for last, Mid-Florida Credit Union, for being our sponsor and our partner in this endeavor the whole year. So I'm excited about that.
And I just got a subprime loan, so thank you.
There you go. Oh, no, yeah. But thank you, and thanks to all of you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. St. Lucie Chamber, that's stluciechamber.org for a full schedule of our events. Have a great day, everybody.